You wanted to obviously become a professional wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
right? Obviously working marks all through your teenage years. When did you decide that you wanted to be in on the creative end of the business and not just in the ring?
You know, that I never really wanted to do that. My dad hired me. My dad said, I'm getting tired. And, you know, Jerry Briscoe was in the office. Jerry Briscoe, Buddy Rogers, and Dusty. So Dad said, you know, you don't need to be in the ring every night. Well, that was my life. I would have worked for free just to be out every night and doing it. So my first adventure in the booking industry of it was probably in 76, 77, something like that. And it's just kind of difficult. I mean, because everybody always says, well, a booker shouldn't wrestle, because a booker always sees himself as the number one guy. So I never had that philosophy. I always looked at, if there wasn't a Dusty Rhodes, or there wasn't a Superstar Graham, or there wasn't... My dad looked at the wrestling industry as every night was going to the Ringling Brothers Circus. You had midgets, you had dancing bears, you had high wire acts, you had lion tamers, you had good look, you had everything. So me as the main event, and nothing else around me wasn't going to draw. Dusty Rhodes and Terry Funk as the only match on the card wasn't going to draw. Then you had to have the fast little guys, the big brawlers. You had to give them a whole package every night. And it was more about the package you were giving them as the outcome of the matches almost. It was the show. It was the whole spectrum of, if you had 18 guys on the card and they were all 300-pound and big bodybuilders, you'd be out of business, because people are looking at the same thing for 6, 7 matches. You know, if you had all little guys, be out of business. It was little guys, big guys, good guys, fat guys, skinny guys, tall guys, short guys. It was the whole high flyers, down on the mat wrestlers. It was the whole spectrum of the show that built up to the main event.
What do you think the most important qualities of a good booker are?
That he doesn't see himself as number one.
So are the best bookers those that are not currently working?
Not necessarily.
Or at least guys that can separate.
That can separate. Say, okay, my spot tonight is over here. You know, I'm on the card. I can help draw, but the big money players that are got the ball and running the touchdowns right now is this, and this. So I need to keep focused on these long ball throwers and the wide receivers that can outrun everybody else, catch the ball and score with it. I need to sit back and be a lineman and just keep my quarterback from getting tackled.
Who's the most notorious offender of breaking that rule?
Oh my God! I mean, you know, I don't know about today, but back in the day, of course, Buddy Rogers. I mean, he came to Florida and he was 70-something years old, and he was there for 3 weeks. And in one night, the Bayfront Center, he beat the world's champion. He beat the world's champion top contender. The 2 top contenders other than that, he beat like 6 guys. He was the referee. He was the referee. My dad fired him the next day. He happened to come in the Bayfront Center, which was our big show, and he's watching the end of this match, and he's like, "What the hell is he doing?" And he like put himself. He was a con man, smooth talking. Oh my gosh, Dad said you should have seen him in his 20s. Now he's 70, and he's talking these guys into letting him do all this shit to him, and so he was by far probably the worst in history. But you know, there's been a lot of people that have taken advantage of that position. It's just ego. Everybody's got an ego, you know, and so it'd be hard to say. It would be hard for me to sit here and actually say this person or this person that should have not booked or shouldn't have been working or whatever. And again, that's just my opinion. They were drawing money. The territory they're in was drawing money.
Right.
So, you know, it was working for them at the time.